You are welcome to The Brief, where we give you key updates on the Nigerian economy, markets, and also insights into key activities to watch for the new week. Let us begin with the economic updates that we have in Nigeria. We expect that during the week, the National Bureau of Statistics will release the GDP economic figures of the Nigerian economy. Nigeria, according to economists, faces a stagflation phase with high inflation of 12.82% and unemployment at 27.1%. The first quarter GDP growth rate for year 2020 was 1.87%, and all eyes will be on the NBS to see if the Nigerian economy will contract for the first time since 2016 because of the effects of COVID-19. In the wake of the outbreak of COVID-19 and the resulting global disruption, the 2020 annual meetings of the African Development Bank and the African Development Fund will hold this week in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. Let us give you insights into events and activities to expect. First, we begin with the AGM's 25th Consolidated Hallmark Insurance, 28th Cornerstone Insurance, 41st Adova and Abico PLC, Smart Products Nigeria, and the 55th Fan Milk PLC annual general meeting will be unfolding in the course of the week for the members of the capital market community. For Tuesday, August 25th, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, in partnership with International Finance Corporation, will be hosting a webinar on the gender implications of COVID-19 on women's entrepreneurship, teamed supporting SMEs and women-owned businesses in corporate value chains by 12 noon. Nigerian Economic Summit Group will be having its pre-summit event in a big conversation for action as they discuss rethinking approaches to investments in agribusiness ecosystem in Nigeria. Committee of E-Business Industry Heads will be hosting leading industry experts at a webinar organized by Intermark Consulting with the team Managing Risk and Fraud in Digital Financial Services. The webinar is aimed at highlighting emerging trends and also lead the conversation on combating fraud in digital financial service. It will focus on the dimension of risk of DFS and present practical and effective ways of addressing fraud, and will feature a panel session. Adeyemi Atonda, Chairman CBIH, will be hosting Dr. Herbert Wigwe, GMD CEO Access Bank PLC, and also the Chairman Committee of Bank CEOs as the special guest. Musa Jimo, Director Payment System Management, Central Bank of Nigeria, the lead speaker, and Nancy Wambui-Kiare, Head Digital Financial Services Fraud Group, Microsafe Africa, as the keynote speaker. Lafarge Africa's 4-part sustainability series webinar with the theme Decade of Action, Advancing the SDGs in a Post-Pandemic Era will hold its part 2 on Wednesday the 26th at 2 p.m. to discuss co-creating value through best practices in private-public partnership and impact assessment for the SDGs. Giving highlights from the part 1, policymakers, business leaders and stakeholders agreed that collaboration, acceleration of activities, and effective strategies must be deployed to achieve sustainable development goals of the United Nations for Nigeria by 2030. Also, on that same day, the virtual edition of the prestigious African Bankers Award ceremony that celebrates excellence in the continent's financial sector is scheduled to take place for this year. This edition of the ABKA 2020 has 3 new categories: SME Bank of the Year, Energy Project of the Year, and Agriculture Deal of the Year. Thursday, August 27th will be a busy day with several events lined up. The Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce will be having its export and import trade documentation and procedures training via Zoom from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Anderson Tax webinar series will focus on stamp duties compliance in Nigeria, the twists and turns. The panel, discussed to be moderated by Michael Ango of Anderson Tax Nigeria, will focus on the key issues of revenue generation potentials of stamp duties in Nigeria, the grey areas of the Stamp Duties Act and areas of divergence between the Stamp Duties Act and publication by the FIRS and Joint Tax Board, and the compliance requirements for individuals and corporates addressing the question of who is required to account for the stamp duties under the applicable transactions. First City Monument Bank is having its Agritech Epic Conference webinar on redefining and repositioning agricultural value chains during and post the COVID-19 era by 10 a.m. The Lagos Business School Alumni Association Northern Zone is organizing its webinar to commence by 11 a.m. Babatunde Urukera, CEO Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC), will speak on consumer rights, consumer protection, and the Nigerian business environment. The press and the Nigerian economy is the focus of the Nigerian South African Chamber of Commerce webinar. Mr. Folusha Phillips, chairman of the chamber, will be presenting the opening remarks to pave way for the other distinguished speakers and panelists to express their views on the subject matter. For Friday, August 28th, the Thought Leadership webinar plans to critically examine the impact of COVID-19 in Nigeria in relation to finding answers to what really has been the impact and, in return, the security response. The event is scheduled to start by 11 a.m. And that will be all for this edition of The Brief. You can log on to our website www.proshareng.com to watch our videos, read our news stories, reports and analysis, and stay updated with the event calendar also available on the website. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching and have a great week ahead.